And just a word, if you are just tuning our way, there's no Matt Henry for New Zealand, which is it's a shame, not just for him but for the game. The leading wicket taker in the tournament, a terrific seam and swing bowler. The leading's been very effective even on these sluggish pitches during this tournament. This could be a maiden. In goes Shami, bowls, and there you go, put the mockers on him. Sorry, Mohammed, that's gone for 4. Bit of width. Isn't it funny how the last ball of an over can so often go for 4, whether it's concentration, I just don't know what it is, but that was comfortably the worst ball that he bowled in the over, and Will Young said thanks very much, and square drove it to the boundary.
And there could have been so much pressure on New Zealand, the first over of the day, India on top, a maiden, but also rank long hop outside the off stump and goes, go on then, have 4, get comfortable.
It's so often that last ball, you bowl a really good over, and then you bowl a last one like that. But anyways, 4 for no wicket, still a good over, and there's a little bit of swing there. And Hardik Pandya is going to bowl from the far end, swinging his arms, loosening up. And he's got an earring glistening, reflecting the light there in his left ear. In fact, he's got a matching set. He's got right ear as well. And he's going to start his run up from the edge of the circle. Ravindra is carefully taking guard from umpire Rifle. He's checking that everything's correct. He's got it where he wants to be. I do like this fella. I really like. I mean, he destroyed England in the World Cup, of course, 18 months ago. But it was just so nice watching him play. Free flowing left-hander, bowls, feels well. And I say he's just a bit of a character too. I think he'll be a future captain. Anyway, for now he's concentrating on Hardik Pandya, who's on his way, and he bowls. That's down the leg side. Umpire Rifle stretches the arms out for the first time. It won't be the last. And one more goes to New Zealand's score.
Oh yeah, all these centuries have come in ICC tournaments, haven't they? Ravindra's, 5 of them. But a brilliant player, so elegant. And I love the way he goes through the gears. It doesn't look like he feels the pressure in the big moments, a big game like today. Just looks so calm at the crease. Yeah,
and he doesn't mind starting off, well, circumspectly, or relatively circumspectly. It's Pandya, bowls to him, wide of the off stump. He lets it go by. So within range, as it were, so not a wide. That's what impressed me about him and Kane Williamson the other night, where they just took their time. And for Williamson, it was a bit of a battle, and rather giving it away, not pointing at any fingers back home particularly, he just played through it, and then before you know it, you suddenly find your timing, and you find the pace of the pitch, and you score more freely, and that's what 50 overs cricket's all about.
Yeah, these two teams have done it perfectly in this competition.
5 for no wicket. Here comes Pandya, bowls, squares him up a little bit, and runs away for Jadeja to pick up a backward point. So busy here, the press box to our right. We've got lots of commentary boxes. We've got the third umpire up here. Our old friend Joel Wilson gave us a very hearty hello as he went to take his seat there, and the television umpire. He's a friendly chap, he really is. We've seen a lot of him on this trip so far.
Yeah, you've been following him around, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. That's we're good mates with Joel. He's always got a smile on his face.
Well, living the dream, that's why.
Yeah, I think he is living the dream, actually. I think you're right. 5 for no wicket. Pandya bowls, and again, it's right on target. Ball does nothing. It just comes off at a nice, easy pace. It's played by the left-handed Ravindra out to Shreyas Iyer, who's fielding at cover. Sort of coming in there at the far end, taking their seats. Have you had a full house yet here?
No. India-Pakistan wasn't full either. Sold out, but not full.
I never quite understand that.
No. Buy your ticket and don't show up. Yeah. The stand right in front of us to the right is always empty.
Right. 5 for no wicket in the second over of this Champions Trophy final. And Ravindra drives that firmly, but only as far as mid-off. And there's no run, so now it's Hardik's turn. He did bowl a wide, but he can still count as a maiden if he finishes these 2 balls off.
A fake maiden.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's not a maiden, is it? It's bowled a wide.
Oh, yes. Still goes in the book as an M.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does. I think it used to.
Used to, doesn't anymore.
The modern generation keep changing the laws.
No wonder your bowling stats are so good.
Yes, that reminds me. I want to word with Sunil Gavaskar. If he comes on here, make sure I'm on with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a bit of a... It wasn't a fallout over text last night. There was some very inaccurate information given. Here's Ravindra driving out to cover, going for a quick single, and there's a fumble, so they make their ground. We were with Aaron Finch last night, weren't we? Part of our commentary team, of course. And somehow he started messaging Sunil Gavaskar. I know what it was. It was about Chakravarti.
Yeah.
And I said, compare him to Chandrasekhar. Ask Sunil Gavaskar what he thinks. Similar-ish sort of bowlers. He got a very long reply back, and I think Aaron said that was... Aggers wanted to know what you thought. And I said, ask Sonny what happened in Nagpur in 1984. And it came back, rather than, yes, I got an extremely hostile, quick delivery that pitched middle and hit off in a one-day international. He said, I missed a straight full toss.
Well, and now I don't know who to believe.
Fake news, as our friend over the Atlantic would say.
You reckon?
Fake news. It was an extremely fine delivery. But he called it a full bunger.
I honestly don't know who I believe.
Well, come on, of course you do. 6 for no wicket now. It's not going to be a maiden because there was a single there, and that's Will Young taking his bottom hand off the handle there to suggest there might have been a bit of extra bounce. And the last ball's played calmly out into the offside. And there is no run. 6 for no wicket, 2 overs gone. Just to remind people who are tuning in all the way through at home that New Zealand have won the toss. Rohit Sharma has now lost 12 tosses on the trot. This just seems extraordinary.
Seems impossible.
Well, it does. But it is 50-50, isn't it?
But 481 days between ODI toss wins. That's over a year. Such a long time. And it's got to the point now where he goes to do the toss and his teammates all pat each other on the back. He's lost another one. Oh, here we go again. And he starts gesturing at his team.
I wonder if how many of those he's tossed the coin. Ooh. And how many of those you had to get tossed today.
Yeah.
He was the coin. He was the tosser.
It's a hard skill to learn that, the toss.
What, to make it land how you want?
Well, you can't obviously get it to land how you want, but just to get it in the air enough.
But he missed the little mat.
Yeah,
perhaps have to concentrate on that a bit, because they have that mat there now, don't they?
Yeah.
To land it on, which must be quite tricky. 6 for no wicket. Here's the start of the third over. Mohammad Shami runs in and bowls it, and the left-handed Ravindra tries to cover misfield there. Rather inexplicable misfield, really. Particularly with Virat Kohli, but a bit of a fumble. His first touch of the day. He's inside the circle there at extra cover. Sun shining down brightly now over this ground. It has a roof all the way around, well, sort of a canopy really, all the way around. With the lights set into it. Shami runs away, he's there, and he bowls, and that's an edge. Sends the ball to third man. Trots in from the boundary, tosses it back. It's Pandya down there with his sunglasses on. And New Zealand move to 7 for no wicket. And they'll already be starting to assess what they think this pitch is worth. I think probably here you might start at 270 and then adjust either way. Actually might get a bit more than that, or it might be a 250. That's kind of the conversation, I think.
Yeah, you probably want more on the board, though, with India chasing.
Shami runs in, bowls to Young. That's pitched up, leg stump, turned away for Pandya to chase. Round he comes. So there's a great cheer there and a waving of flags behind him. And Will Young comes back for 2. He goes to 6. New Zealand 9 for no wicket. Shadow of that canopy stretching out from below us here. We're in the VVIP area, aren't we?
Are we?
Not just VIPs.
Oh, we are very, very important people.
They do like that in this part of the world, don't they? I did see once a VVVIP.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was very, very important. It wasn't for me, obviously. And there's a good ball, which goes past the outside edge. And again, keeps rather low. To beat the bat. Applause there of encouragement from Rohit at slip. And a bit of pitch prodding going on. It's that sort of ball that makes you think, well, is 270 gettable? It's it's sort of scuttled through a bit. Henry's worked out that in fact India have now lost 15 tosses on the trot all the way through. And he's worked it out. I don't know how he worked this out. That apart from the 50-50 element, which is the kind of, that's where you start from, isn't it? He goes Shami, bowls, driven up to mid-off, he gets his head down, runs and makes his ground. As a throw from mid-off, misses the stump. So nicely taken by Young, and Ravindra responding straight away. Henry's worked out, I don't know how he's done this, that the chances of losing 15 tosses on the trot is 1 in 32,768. I'm not even going to bother asking how he's worked that out. I think he's made it up. But that's a lot of tossing.
I mean, I just don't understand how he's lost that many.
No. Shami again scurries in bowls, and Ravindra stands up straight. He's down the ground to Shubman Gill, fielding at mid-off. Look, it looks a good pitch, doesn't it? It just looks a flat pitch. New Zealand will be hoping that it slows down during the course of the day, which is perfectly possible. There isn't really a due here, is there? They had to help things with the ball to skid on a little bit, which you were getting in Pakistan.
Yeah. What has happened here is it started to spin more in the second innings. There is absolutely no grass on that surface whatsoever. It's so bare.
Looks like a mosaic, doesn't it? All the little cracks. It's literally just bits that somehow sort of stick together, but all the cracks running through it. 10 for no wicket. We've had 3 overs. New Zealand winning the toss and batting first. I've no doubt that Rohit Sharma would have done the same, but then so he knew he wasn't going to win, so he didn't really work it out. In comes Pandya, bowls outside the off stump. It's taken by Rahul. He probably just turns up now, just tosses the coin and walks off.
I was going to say, do you even think that he has a discussion with the coaching staff of what do you want to do if we win the toss? They're like, mate, you ain't winning the toss.
I don't think so. I was interested by Gautam Gambhir's expression the other day. There's a couple of new expressions we've heard. We've heard grifters used across the Atlantic, which I hadn't heard of before. Mm-hmm. He used the word cribbers.
Cribbers?
Which if I'd asked it's a perfectly legitimate question about whether he felt that they had an advantage through playing here. Here's Pandya bowling, clipped down to mid-on, and there's no run. And he was quite forceful in his reply to this journalist, and he said that it's only cribbers who believe that, basically. So I'd have liked to follow up saying thank you very much for that, but I've actually never been insulted by that word before. Can you tell me what it means?
Yeah, help a girl out.
Yeah, what does it actually mean? What is a cribber? A crib sheet. A crib sheet is someone who kind of cheats in an exam or something, isn't it?
It all looked a bit funny that when Shami came out and said, of course we've got an advantage.
Yes.
Not much communication going on there.
No, he was quite an angry man, apparently. Here's Pandya again, bowling, tucked away into the shadows to our left. And they take an easy single as the throw comes in on the bounce. Simon's looking it up in the online thesaurus. Simon couldn't find it.
Yeah, he tried to have a look the other
Cribbers.
day.
People trying to copy other people's views. So it is a crib sheet, as it were. So you have a crib sheet in which you...
But that doesn't make sense.
Well, I guess it means people just kind of on the bandwagon, doesn't it? I guess.
Well, you've played all your games at one ground.
Yes, I mean, I think it's a difficult one to argue against.
It's not a bandwagon, it's a fact.
Yeah, so he just got angry about it.
Yeah.
Called someone a cribber, and next question, please. 11 for no wicket. 100 from, that's a good shot. That's Ravindra for you, and he's hit the first 6 of the match. Picking up a good length ball, and we hit that well. Really did, out of the middle of the bat. And it's just flown away over deep mid-wicket, just a little bit short, but yeah, good play, this fella.
Yeah, it's not a bad ball. When you look at the score and the circumstances, you just think Hardick's just going to bang one slightly shorter, maybe for him to ride the bounce and knock it into the leg side. Ravindra says, absolutely not. If it's in my slot, I'm having it.
That's such a clean strike. Slipper's gone, has come out to short extra cover. Pandya runs in, bowls, and that's a drive, and he's just opened the face of the bat and sent that away out to the deep point boundary this time. Just a little bit of, opening the face just to work the ball into that gap. Lovely shot. 10 off those 2 deliveries, 21 for no wicket. Richard from Geelong in Australia emails us. He's listening on the ABC. Hello, Richard. I found Geelong on the map because I was looking up where Aaron comes from. He comes from Colac, which is out in that sort of Geelong area. I've got a speeding ticket in Geelong. It's not one of my favourite places. Anyway, Richard says it's wine o'clock here in southern Australia. Geelong's not in southern Australia. Geelong's in Victoria. We've had a warm day, sitting back home for a cracking day. Comes the next one. It's a wide down the leg side. Query, though, from Richard. In terms of population, has there ever been a bigger mismatch in high-level sport? A nation of 5.6 million taking on 1.3 billion people. Going for the underdog, says Richard. Well, that's good.
We've got an Aussie supporting the New Zealanders.
We have. Well, perhaps he would have said South Australia if he meant it was South Australia. It's Southern Australia, he said. But I mean, Geelong is in Southern Australia, but it's in Victoria. But yeah, I got nipping through there once and policeman on the motorbike, fortunately. I was driving a long way. I was going to Adelaide. I mean, it's a long drive, isn't it?
Speed limit.
Get a bit of a wiggle on, yeah. There's Pandya bowling short. He repeats the shot. There's no one at deep square leg. Hasn't quite got out of the middle of the bat. So that'll bring him 4, and this is easily the most productive over of New Zealand's innings so far. They're 26 for no wicket. 4 overs have been bowled. 3 boundaries and a 6 they've struck so far. Alex will give her considered thoughts on things, and then you'll be joined by Simon Mann.
Well, it just changes the momentum of the game so early, doesn't it? That over from Ravindra there, just putting the pressure back on India. Hardik with a couple of short balls, and Ravindra saying, well, as I said before, if it's in my wheelhouse, I'm going to hit it. 16 runs coming off the over. The run rate now at 6.5, when actually India had created decent pressure for the first 3 overs of the game, and still a long way to go, but New Zealand just with that counter punch there.
So 26 for no wicket. 4 overs gone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever, wherever you are listening in the world. Here's Shami shuffling in to bowl to Young. Young covers up and dabbing it towards Jadeja at Gully. Jadeja goes to his left, can't prevent the single, and Young goes to 9, and New Zealand to 27 for no wicket. Start of the 5th over. I can't think there's been a bigger disparity in a final anywhere than New Zealand against India in terms of country population.
No, you would think not.
Just trying to do the arithmetic, thinking
I'm trying to think as like
Brazil against somebody, but I mean India's got 1.2 billion.
Yeah. But who did
1.2,
India play in that T20 World Cup out in
South
New York?
Africa.
There's South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa's got a bigger population.
A couple of group games with Papua New Guinea there and things like that, wasn't there?
I think it was about a final though, wasn't it? Shami bowls full to Ravindra. Fine stroke for 4 through wide mid-on. Flicked away gloriously. Out towards the boundary and over it. And New Zealand go to 31 for no wicket. And a bit of silence around the ground.
You'll find that. When another team is on top, you can hear a pin drop. And then all it takes is just the ball to beat the bat or a wicket, and the crowd go wild.
Well, it's something we've become used to when you watch Indian cricket, especially in India, when those one-day internationals are on, for example, or the biggest one I can remember, the silence, was the World Cup semi-final in 1996 between India and Sri Lanka, when Ravindra de Silva drove a ball down the ground to reach his 50. No one even applauded. Shami ran the wicket to Ravindra, and he can get 4 more here. That's a genuine edge, squared up, edged along the ground through second slip. There is no one at home at second slip. That's gone for 4 as well. So they're both worth the same. One was what they call a moral victory for the bowler. As a batter there, I think I don't care. I'd happily edge 100, inside edge, outside edge, doesn't matter. They're in the book. And that's what Ravindra was probably thinking about that. Well, that was a decent ball. He might have just slightly played for it, but it looked a genuine edge. But it went down, and they've got 2 men up inside the circle behind square on the offside. One's a deep 4th slip, and one's a deep gully. And it went between the keeper and the notional slip. Here's Shami trying again, finds a gap there. Ravindra on the offside towards a sweeper on the boundary. A deep backward point. Throw coming in right over the bails to KL Rahul. And 1 more run to the total. 36 for no wicket. I think the applause there was for the throw rather than the shot or the run.
Yeah.
The ground has filled up since the start of play. I looked at the back actually. There is quite a big traffic jam.
Well, it's almost single lane traffic into the ground, isn't it?
Yes, when they built this ground, I'm not sure they quite put enough roads in to get in and out.
But it's Dubai, they'll probably build another road for the next time we're here.
Yeah, there'll be a huge flyover or something. Yeah. 36 for no wicket. 5th over. Shami bowls. Young drives up towards mid-on. Can't beat the fielder there. Kuldeep Yadav. And that's the thing, isn't it, with this Indian side? Okay, the opening bowlers, Shami and Hardik Pandya, they'll do their thing, and New Zealand might be able to get away a bit, but then the spinners come on, and that's when the squeeze comes on as well, with India playing 4 frontline spinners. Mind you, New Zealand are well stocked with spinners as well.
Well, New Zealand lost 9 wickets last time they played India to spin.
Shami, past umpire Illingworth, bowls to Young. Young flicks that away down towards fine leg, and they are through for one more. Big day for Will Young. The last time I came across him in an ICC tournament, he was actually commentating for us on New Zealand against Papua New Guinea in the T20 World Cup last summer. He's got himself back into the New Zealand side and really enjoying his day, trying to make the most of it. But, such a big day for him. Biggest match of his life. 37 for no wicket after 5 overs. Young's on 10. Ravindra is on 25 from 14 balls. I noticed actually Mitch Santner, New Zealand's captain, tossing up with Rohit Sharma. They're going to be colleagues in a couple of weeks' time when they play for the Mumbai Indians.
I know.
And that bizarre situation where Rohit's India's captain, but Hardik Pandya is Mumbai Indians captain with Rohit in the ranks.
I'm not sure how well that goes down, to be honest.
No, it doesn't go down very well, I don't think. But I think Hardik Pandya's sort of terms for coming back to Mumbai Indians, because he went off and won the IPL with the Gujarat Titans, was that he would be captain. They exceeded that, and, well, didn't have a very good season last year. Here's Varun Chakravarti into the attack. Oh, fiver straight away, down the leg side. It's not taken by the keeper. It's hit the rope now, and so that's 5 wides. Well, that's a nice little bonus at the start of Varun Chakravarti's bowling spell. That goes against his name.
Interesting ball to start with. It seemed quite quick, that, whether or not he was just trying to fire one in, maybe trying to surprise Young, just rush him a little bit. Obviously gets his line wrong and it races to the boundary.
So 42 for no wicket. Here's Chakravarti bowling, clipped away by Young, forward a square. Umpire Illingworth saunters out of the way. It's picked up in the deep, and they are through for another single. That's a good start from New Zealand. 43 for no wicket. Start of the 6th over. If you'd said to them this is where they'd be at the start of the 6th, they were more than happy with that. Young 11, Ravindra, the left-hander now. Had a quick chat with Will Young, and Ravindra's going to come down on the strike. Rohit is himself standing at slip. There's a long off in and a deep mid-wicket, cow corner almost. Those are the 2 fielders outside the circle. Ravindra's taking a fresh guard with the spinner on. Chakravarti's taken 7 wickets in the competition. He's gone at 4.55 runs per over. He got in my team of the tournament. I don't know if he got in yours, Alex.
Absolutely got in mine. Stacked of spinners.
Here's Chakravarti, ran the wicket. Balls to Ravindra, has a dabble at that one and misses it. And it's taken by KL Rahul. We were asked to do our team of the competition.
Yeah.
Admittedly before the final. So there were a few complaints about people saying, oh, why have you done your team of the competition before the final? Well, because we were asked to, or told to.
Yeah.
So we did it. Chakravarti bowls, swept away, out towards the deep square leg boundary. And it's a fine piece of fielding out there. Keeps it down to 2. That was heading out towards the rope. Shreyas Iyer coming around to his left-hand side. He's at cow corner, and he had to get to deep forward square leg then, and he did well, very smartly around the boundary. Good sweep shot from the left-handed Ravindra. 45 for no wicket, middle of the 6th.
Who did you have as your captain for your team of the tournament?
Mitchell Santner.
Okay, interesting.
Right.
That's the normal idea.
Chakravarti bowls, cut away by Ravindra towards backward point, finds Kuldeep. There's no run.
I did my team of the tournament and thought, I don't really want to go captain.
Don't tell me you left out a wicket-keeper as well, did you?
No, I put a wicket-keeper in eventually. I worked the team around number 3 and the wicket-keeper. So I went with what I thought was a brilliant, bright idea.
Okay. Chakravarti bowls, nudged away by Ravindra towards wide mid-on, through for another single. 46 for no wicket, coming to the end of the 6th over.
I've got Virat Kohli, I've got Joe Root, but opening the batting, I've got Ravindra. And I thought, he's a future captain.
Right, so you went for him,
I went for him.
Right,
He can learn off the experience of everybody else.
Well, you can go to the BBC Sport website and have a look at those if you're so minded. Our teams of the tournament, those who've been out here commentating. Chakravarti now to bowl to Young. Dab sweep in the air, just on the bounce to Kuldeep. Short fine, and that's the end of Chakravarti's over. So 9 runs off it in all. 5 wides from the first ball helped New Zealand along there. 6 overs gone. 46 for no wicket. You're listening to 5 Sports Extra, ABC, the ICC website, Champions Trophy final, and highlights clips will be on the BBC Sport website as well throughout the day. The big moments, and Glenn Phillips has been to the fore in recent matches. Seen some highlights of his catches on the BBC Sport website. There's also an article about his fielding written by Matt Henry.
A really interesting article.
It is,
really
yeah.
interesting. You know, Matt Henry's trying to say, what makes you such a good fielder? And he's like, I like flying planes. I like... And there was nothing about, like, you know, my technique, my anything. It was like all about his hobbies, and he likes archery. So the fact that he thinks it helps his hand-eye coordination, I thought it was a real insight into probably the type of person that he is.
Definitely, yeah. He says, some days I fly a plane from Manchester to Heathrow, doesn't he, on the simulator in his room. Shami round the wicket, bowls to Ravindra, turned away into the onside firmly, but straight to Kuldeep. He's getting in the action a lot here. Picks that one up at mid-on, and there's no run. The other thing he said was, I think the one thing he said that was interesting is I try to throw as much as possible with my weaker arm.
Yeah, left hand. Yeah.
So it's his left hand, is it?
Yeah.
To try and strengthen it. It goes back to... You won't remember this, but Bobby Charlton, the great Manchester United and England World Cup winner, who outside Old Trafford, I think it was outside Old Trafford against a wall, he would practice shooting with his wrong foot to really strengthen it. It put me in mind of that.
Yeah.
Here's Shami bowling, shout for LBW as he tries to swing it away into the leg side. Nothing from the umpire. He walks away. Ball goes down into the gully. Shami steps forward, thinks about a review. What does Rohit say? They're having a chat. 10, 9... 8. Rohit doesn't look minded to review it. I think probably height there might have been the issue. Anyway, they're not going to review it. And New Zealand stay on 46 for no wicket. Having another look now. Shami from round the wicket. Probably height was the issue. Yeah, back leg, but above the pad. And so umpire Illingworth gave that not out. And probably a wise decision there not to review it. Probably straight, but going over the top of the stumps. Shami's in his 4th over, no wicket for 19. Now they've got a short point in for Ravindra. Shami moves in again and bowls to him. That's hit firmly back, and it might have been a drop catch on the return there. Shami on his follow through, he rings his left hand. That would have been a magnificent catch if he'd taken it, because it was hit hard by Ravindra. It's parried up towards deepish mid-on. And they ran through for a single. Just having another look at that, there was a miscue. Shami got his 2 hands up there, and came off his left hand and went away, and the physio's coming out onto the ground. 47 for no wicket, middle of the 7th over. Alex Hartley has departed, and Ramiz Raja is here. Well, we should have been in Lahore today, really, Ram.
Yeah,
we are in Dubai.
I'm missing Lahore.
Anyway. Have you been there at all on this trip?
No, not done any games in Lahore. My hometown, so I was in Karachi. And
that's right, you were in Karachi with us last weekend, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah. But he pushes the ball hard, very wristy, very strong through the line. Rachin would have been a great catch, would have helped India a great deal. But that's the 2nd or 3rd drop on his follow-through. Shami probably not as keen as some of the other fast bowlers when it comes to catching the ball of their own bowling.
That would be a blow if he's done some significant damage there. It looks as though he's getting the tape. Well, he's already got some tape, I think, on that left hand, and now he's getting one on the little finger of his left. That's being taped up as well. If he were a left-arm spinner, I don't think he'd be able to bowl like that, would he?
They would ask him to remove all the tapes.
Please take that off. And the reason being that the feeling is you can get more purchase on the ball if you've got your hands taped up.
Plus also the visibility point. I mean, because the ball, I don't know whether you get a clear view of the ball or not.
Yeah, but just knocked his little finger back. It's horrible, actually, that when it gets bent back, you get the bruising in the finger. Anyway, catch goes down. Shami is midway through his fourth over. And he's going to continue by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, excellent batting from Ravindra because of his aggression. I think India were forced to introduce their trump card, Varun, earlier than his usual spot. Let's see whether... I think India are in desperate need of a wicket here because if Rachin has a good time of it, he's quite capable of scoring hundreds. He's already scored 2 in this Champions Trophy and a natural white ball cricketer.
Well, he scored a lovely 100 in that match against South Africa, a semi-final in Lahore, the Gaddafi Stadium the other day. So did Williamson, 362 for 6, far too many for South Africa. Actually, the winning margin, 50 runs, didn't really tell the final tale that accurately as Shami bowls and Young has to defend, head right over it. All goes towards short extra cover. South Africa were well behind. There was no chance of them winning that game. Only that bizarre innings from David Miller got them within 50 runs. And he only started, I don't know how much you saw, he only started to really go for it after they couldn't win the game just about.
That's right, a little late in the piece.
I'm not saying they would have won in any case. They probably wouldn't have done, but they've got to give it a go. Yeah. Anyway, getting his 100 off the last ball of the match as his team's defeat was confirmed. Shami bowls, Young defends again, dabbing it into the offside. Rohit Sharma, well, the numbers forward to pick up there. And there is no run.
So obviously Young wants to continue for a long period of time at the crease. I think that's how he's looked at his role in ODI cricket. Player 50 overs, get 100 and others will rally around him. And so he's just looking after his role. His pace is not great, 11 from 20, but Ravindra has provided New Zealand with a lot of aggressiveness here.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy with where they are at the moment. Shami goes into bowl to Young to complete the over, and he forces that away for 4. Wide of mid-on. Well, that's a good way to end the over. Brings up the 50 for New Zealand. 7 gone. 51 for no wicket. I'm not sure if Young was conscious there. He just played a couple of dot balls and just needed to get on with it a bit. He goes to 15. But something we noticed the other day is how New Zealand were, against South Africa, happy kind of just to sit in, knowing that if they could build the base, that they could attack later on. And they did.
Absolutely. He gives them assurance from one end. I think that's his role, Young's role, to play properly. He's the original kind of a batsman. The ones you had in the late 80s and 90s it doesn't create lengths like Ravindra, for example. His temperament is good.
Shami's coming off the field. He's walking off very slowly after that hand injury. It might just be an over off or a couple of overs off. That hand is quite got a lot of strapping on it, and now the finger. 51 for no wicket. Varun Chakravarti begins a new over. Bowls to Ravindra down the leg side. Appeal for a catch. Keeper wants it. Given. Umpire rifle gives it out, and immediately Ravindra reviews it. So clearly he doesn't think he's nicked it down the leg side. India do. Umpire rifle does. And now it's over to Joel Wilson and the technology.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be if it is out, then it'll be a wrong way to really get out, because that ball was asking to be hit for a 4. He's played that sweep shot so well down the leg side, not given a wide, and umpire felt there was a little bit of glove, probably bat, who knows. But Ravindra was very keen to go for a review straight away.
Seeing it now.
I've checked the feet, it's a fair delivery. I'm looking at split screen at the moment. The ball appeared to be under bat and glove.
Yeah, it's...
Passing close to the bat. Can you give me ultra edge?
Don't think there's an ultra edge.
First look, there looks to be a gap. It doesn't look as if he's hit it.
Flat line at the moment, flat line, go all the way past the glove.
There we go, flat line.
Flat line. Yeah, I have no bat in the glove. You'll have to reverse your original decision of out and not out. Stand by. The on-screen signal now.
Strange one that, wasn't it? Because the keeper's absolutely convinced.
Yeah, I think India were desperate to get a wicket. So it was out of desperation.
I think the technology these days, there's no kind of hiding place. So if there's a wrong decision, it's going to be overturned. And now, was a wide call. Yes, it was. So Chakravarti bowls, swung away, high in the air, out towards deep mid-wicket fielder running round. Is he going to get there? No, he drops it. Drop catch is another one. It's a difficult chance. It's Shreyas Iyer out there. He had a long way to go to his right-hand side. He got two hands to it on the dive. He could not hold on. And Ravindra comes back for a second. So another life for him. One in that previous over and one there. Both difficult chances.
Yeah, that's the way the modern batsman thinks. I mean, there was a bit of drama given out, not out declared by Ultra Edge, and then off the very next ball, it was skied up in the air. Would have been a great catch. Shreyas Iyer is such a brilliant fielder, but somehow I think when he was catching the ball, he was a little off balance.
Yeah.
Just couldn't be more balanced.
Just watching the slow motion replay just gave you an indication that he
just paused for a
moment,
yes.
didn't he? And that's exemplified, so exaggerated, I should say, by the slow motion. Just see it more clearly. It was only a fraction, and then he realised he had to dive for it. 54 for no wicket. Chakravarti bowls. Ravindra drives towards wide long off. They've gone for one. They'll come back for the second. Picked up by Shubman Gill. A deep extra cover. Two more to the total. Yeah, 56 for no wicket in the eighth.
So many options as a striker, Ravindra. So he can play the cover drive and the slog sweep. He's good against the short ball in ODI format. Plays spin well.
This has been a fascinating start. Here's Ravindra knocking it into the onside. Ayers rushing in from deep mid-wicket, looking to atone. Shows some aggression in his fielding, which he does. He actually hammers in quite a difficult one for the keeper to take. It came to him on the half volley. I'm not sure Rahul was that impressed by that throw. But that was Iyer trying to almost make up for what he'd just done.
Yes,
adrenaline coursing through his veins.
Yeah, I mean, it's the final, obviously. Every little incident is going to multiply the pressure bit.
Is India, they're at home. There's all that chat about their sort of home advantages in inverted commas. Is a sweep shot and another appeal for LBW, but that one is turned down. Nothing there from umpire Raif. I say India at home. They've got a home crowd. It's all Indian support here, so it feels like a second home for them. And their cricketers have played quite a lot here. IPL, for example, was here for a couple of seasons, and they've been here for a while. Chakravarti, right arm over, bowls, a shout for LBW. This time it's out. Young's gone, given out, and Chakravarti's made the breakthrough. Young's coming down to have a chat with Ravindra, but I think Ravindra said to him that looks good, and Young's accepted it. I think he sensed that was a good shout. He just wanted a check, and Young is walking off, and Chakravarti's made the breakthrough. 57 for 1, Young's out for 15, LBW.
I think his value is regarding the partnership. It was a straight ball, would have gone onto it, middle and leg stumps, so missed the in drift. And definitely India this time were right on the money. So it was a patient kind of an innings. 15 from 23, New Zealand 57 for 1.
57 for 1. Henry Moran's going to take over from me, so if you could just give a few more thoughts, Ram.
Yes, so I mean, once again, the onus is on Ravindra, how to lift the tempo once again. A wicket is what India desperately needed, and it has come courtesy their best bet in this Champions Trophy, Varun, with another scalp.
Hello there, Ram.
Hello, Henry.
So what do we think? It's this partnership for me, isn't it? This is huge for New Zealand, particularly Kane Williamson, the man out there, bearded figure, scratching away at the surface, alongside somebody who 34 from 24 is looking increasingly like the heir apparent of the icon figure, really, of New Zealand cricket. Kane Williamson for so long has been that man, but Rachin Ravindra, every game that goes by, it feels as though he's building that reputation.
That's right. I think both played spin exceedingly well. That one kept low for Young. I think that ball didn't really rise a great deal or bounce a great deal. It didn't read the spin on it as well. So I think progressively this pitch will become just a little bit more taxing, more challenging to bat on.
Well, Williamson's first ball, here comes Varun, and forward, just tucking that ball into the leg side for an easy single. To keep the strike, Jadeja fields the clouds overhead here in Dubai. I can see a drone cutting a lonely figure high up there in the sky, bringing those pictures. Here we go. Let's see the replay of that LBW shout. And indeed, going on to hit around about 3/4 of the way up middle and leg. And that is enough for Varane to strike and collect yet another wicket in this tournament. 1 for 16 from his 2 overs so far. And New Zealand will be thinking, well, realistically, 8 more overs to face from somebody who's been just brilliant in this tournament. The man trained as an architect, who came to cricket quite late, really, Virat Kohli, but he's been brilliant in this tournament. He really has.
Yeah, I mean, he's so accurate and he reads the conditions perfectly almost. So on a bouncy strike, he'll have a different length. On a surface like this, he'll be more wicket to wicket, maybe up the batsman in that driving range. And gets it to spin also. It's ever so slightly, but enough to cause a concern in your mind.
Well, Williamson will wait for Shami, who has been a little expensive so far. 4 overs, none for 24. We've got 2 overs left of this initial power play, and here comes Shami. Bowls a delivery that's angled with great ease and calm by Williamson down towards deep third for 1. And the score 59 for 1. Now, this surface is an interesting looking one, Ramiz. It's sort of little lunar landscape.
Yeah, I mean, grassless and very dry. And probably it'll play better in the first innings compared to the second, but we know you've got to have a cushion of 20-30 extra runs for Indian batting, so New Zealand must look for a score in excess of 270.
Yeah, I think that's the feeling, isn't it? Put a little bit of pressure on. Ravindra waits as Shami comes around the wicket. It's a full delivery which is dropped into the offside, and I don't know if you'd agree with this, Ramiz, but given the damage done already, run rate of 7.2, it almost feels as though the work for the power play has been done runs-wise. There's no need to be too aggressive.
Absolutely right. I think Ravindra is going to be the key moving forward if they want to have a good first innings. I think the health of the innings will depend a lot on Ravindra's innings, because he's temperamentally strong, he's well settled. So if he gets a 100, I think it'll serve New Zealand so well.
60 for 1. Williamson, the right-hander, waits.
Shot.
Beautifully off the back foot. Through the offside it goes. And that is some shot from Kane Williamson for his first boundary.
Wow. I mean, earlier, Ravindra hit a 6 of the length, but this is matching that brilliance. Probably the best shot of the innings so far. It was nothing more than a tap of the back foot on a slow pitch. Really, to get that sound of the bat and to get that placement was really, really special.
Flies away and finds a gap that is tiny, really, through that infield, which has got, 3 in front of square on the offside. We've got a gully, backward point as well. And here comes Shami running in. 6 from the over so far. Williamson will defend. Into the offside it goes. Our fielders in the deep, the 2 of them, are at fine leg and deep third. 64 for 1 is already New Zealand's best power play score of the tournament. They scored 56 against South Africa, so they're flying relatively.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of rhythm also, and Ravindra generally provides them with that rhythm. And if Williamson gets a runner ball 50, for example, I think New Zealand will be on their way to a very good score.
It's a good start. Hazy day here in the UAE. As Shami bustles in again, arms pumping, and bowls a ball that Williamson, as he's done umpteen times in his career, will look to angle past the fielder inside the circle. Behind square on the offside, but he can't do so. Rohit Sharma, who'll be a little concerned as a captain, will field and throw the ball back towards Shami, who walks back towards us, looking at the ground, thinking about what he can do to try and break a partnership that, though it's not been together long, has continued this intent that has put New Zealand in a strong position early on. Here comes Shami, running in the white bowling boots, past the umpire. Oh, chasing a ball outside the off stump is Williamson. It goes through on the bounce to Raul, and the score after 9 is 64 for 1.
I like that position in the slip coordinates, a wide slip, and Rohit Sharma got himself there to stop Williamson from angling the bat for a run. So they forced, in a way, forced Williamson to play with a straighter bat, and I think he missed that outswinger from Shami. So good tactics from India, making him play a shot that is second favorite. The the cover drive compared to the tap that he plays so well for that basic rotation of strike.
Richard from Geelong has been in touch, following up on the populations question. The relative sizes. Done some number crunching. India's population 260 times that of New Zealand. The equivalent in football would be England playing against Samoa. Here comes Varun Chakravarti to Ravindra. Round the wicket, lovely ball. Beats the edge of a lunging Ravindra, who acknowledges the delivery with a little thumbs up. And the crowd up and about will know that this is a battle that could be decisive.
Absolutely right, yeah. A little bit more flight and appreciable spin. I think it was the wrong one that deceived him.
Chakravarti in the long sleeves, a fuller delivery this time. It'll be clipped towards mid-on. A sliding fielder, Hardik Pandya, will pick up with one taken. I would say, ratio-wise inside the ground, there's probably many more than 260 times as great number of India fans as there are New Zealand fans.
Correct.
Run rate at the moment, just under 7 and over. We're in the final over of the initial 10, where 2 are allowed outside the circle. Those 2 are at backward square leg and long off. There's a square leg, one inside the circle, mid-wicket saving 1. As Williamson waits and comes forward, looking for a run into the leg side that he'll get. And like Kohli, a master of manipulating the strike.
Yeah, very similar in style. Safe, and he reads the situation so well, Williamson. He's got great temperament also, his ability to play spin well.
66 for 1. Turn the attention to round the wicket with Chakravarti with this mystery spin. As he comes in now, past the umpire, it's a full delivery, which is whacked down the ground with a lot of bottom hand from Ravindra, up towards that man, Jadeja, at long off, and he's on to 37 off 28, 67 for 1.
I mean, it's chalk and cheese compared to what we're seeing from Ravindra. So much at ease and picking the bowler off the hand compared to the other New Zealand stars. It's just amazing when it comes to playing Varun.
Just finding it that much more straightforward. Sun shining now as Varun comes over the wicket to Williamson, who plays with a high elbow towards mid-on, and there's no run. 3 off the over so far, with a ball left of the first 10. Rohit Sharma, who I think would have expected perhaps 1 down would seem plausible, but 67 on the board I think he would have been a little surprised at.
Yeah, run rate of 6.81.
Final ball of the first 10 then is quicker from Chakravarti. Lovely batting, just whipped into the leg side, out towards deep mid-wicket, where the fielder running round, Akshar Patel, will have to make up a bit of ground to pick up. End of the over. He's seen 5 from it, and at the end of all that, it's been dramatic. 69 for 1. The 1 wicket to have fallen, that of Will Young for 15, but it is Rachin Ravindra, this young, dashing left-hander, who's 37 from 28 and has been brilliant.
Absolutely, that he has been. 37 of 28. I think the next challenge for New Zealand will be how well and how far can they maintain this run rate of around 6.5. I think the initial target has to be 270 plus. So if they get 300, 310, it'll be a great score for a final.
Now that's what we want, is we want a really compelling, tight game.
Sure.
That's what, for a final of a competition, you want to see something that keeps us guessing right to the last. Kuldeep Yadav then comes into the attack, playing his 114th one-day international. Left-arm wrist spinner. There's a slip. The field can now spread, and so we've got a deep cover. Long off, long on, deep square leg, and Ravindra is bowled!
Wow!
Kuldeep Yadav strikes first ball of the 11th over, his first ball of the final, and Ravindra goes for 37.
Well, this is massive. This really is massive. Because the innings was being handled by Ravindra's brilliance, and in the, he just couldn't pick the length. I think that ball zipped off the length, and probably in 2 minds should have been forward instead of back foot. It was quick through the air, and ball came back, hit the pad, and then shattered the stumps. And New Zealand have lost a great one. Ravindra was batting so well. Is gone.
Could be a massive moment. and Kuldeep Yadav knew it as he ran away, punching the air. Virat Kohli's embrace and the tousling of that mop of hair says it all. It says that is the moment that we were looking for. Daryl Mitchell comes to the middle, but Ravindra, shaking his head, looking at the ground below us, knows that in such good touch, on such a big stage, this was a chance. But he goes, and it's 69 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, and to Kuldeep's effort, such a good ball. First ball of your spell, and he couldn't have bowled a better line, better delivery, followed the left-hander, was squeezed for place, space, and done.
69 for 2 as Daryl Mitchell, who's got an excellent record against India in ICC tournaments and likes playing spin, but we'll know there's a rebuilding job to be done here. And these two are two in the New Zealand lineup that can bat all day. They can happily drop anchor and just keep it ticking over.
Yeah, the ability will be tested here. India's got this remarkable ability to bounce back by picking up wickets.
It's just a variety of options, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Kuldeep then to the right-handed Daryl Mitchell. Down the leg side it goes. That'll be wide, signalled by umpire Rifle. 70 for 2. Kuldeep, who has had an interesting career. I remember he came to an ODI tour of England, and probably 7 or 8 years ago now, England just could not pick him, and slowly got better as the tour went on. But here is Kuldeep outside the off stump and carefully, watchfully pushed towards cover. No run.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at a stat, so the bowlers have bowled around 90 plus kph have found more wickets of the surfaces here in Dubai.
Kuldeep again, and the paddle is attempted, and successfully so, down towards fine leg for 1.
And so Kuldeep gets it at pace, spins it as well because of the pitch. And that really was a cracking delivery, the first one to Ravindra. Followed him, hit the pad. I think it probably would have been leg before also.
There was quite a lot going for it, that one, Ram. I think it's fair to say. Kuldeep Yadav playing in his first Champions Trophy, as for so many of these players, that's the case in this tournament. Here is Kuldeep, just chipped a little aerially to the right of the bowler, but Williamson gets 1. 72 for 2. This is a tournament that hasn't been played for 8 years now, but I have to say I've enjoyed it an awful lot, because I just think the jeopardy of so few matches just adds something.
Yeah, I mean, all in every time.
Kuldeep again, 23 on his back with the long sleeves. Moving in and bowling a ball that is defended by Mitchell back up the track, just carefully pushing it back towards the bowler, who picks up. Final ball of an over that has cost 3 so far, but seen the big breakthrough. Here's Kuldeep. In once more in the sunshine. That'll be punched down the ground for 1 from the bat of Mitchell. Thinking about a second. He wants it. I'm not sure Williamson was quite on the same wavelength setting off. And so it will just be the single to conclude the 11th over. 73 for 2. If you want to see that wicket, or indeed any of the best of the action, then the BBC Sport website and app for our listeners in the UK, you can do that. Also live with our text commentary service with Sam Drury, with all the conversation and those highlights there as well, to keep you company through the day. You might be listening in Australia on the ABC Listen app. That's what Andrew's doing. Also in Geelong, how about that? I'm about to restart my 370-kilometre return journey after completing my fuel delivery to Mount Gambier, South Australia. The match will keep me company all the way, and then some.
What time would it be in Geelong?
That's a very good question, Rameez. I'm going to tell you. I love thinking about what people might be doing. It'll be just coming up to 9 p.m. So Akshar Patel into the attack, left arm spin to bowl to the right-handed Daryl Mitchell, who comes forward looking for a run to whip the ball into the leg side, but only finds Varun Chakravarti inside the circle at fine leg. So no run, 73 for 2.
Yeah, he's quick through the air, so difficult really to play the sweep shot. He's got to pick him off the hand and look for that incoming angle.
Akshay Patel in the sunglasses, bowling to Mitchell, who comes forward in defence. No run.
I think New Zealand can have a calming 1 or 2 overs because Ravindra had given them a great platform here. You know, a few dots really will not hurt their purpose.
Akshay bowls to Mitchell, back towards the bowler, and they'll know that wickets is going to be the key.
Sure.
Midway through the 12th, we've got fielders out in the deep, but sort of deep backward point, just in front of square on the leg side, and then a long on and a long off. And it's Mitchell looking to try and find a single towards that long off, and he does just that with a little punch down the ground and a gentle trot through. Bearded figure behind the grill of that helmet. He's a tall man, good reach, loves facing spin bowling, and he can accelerate. He's somebody that hits very well straight. Akshay Patel to Kane Williamson is a battle that should be intriguing. The left arm spin to the right-handed former captain. Here is Akshay Patel to Williamson for the first time, looking for that run down the ground. Can't find it. It's a good start this from Akshay Patel. Just one from the over so far.
Yeah, he's very accurate. Doesn't have a lot of varieties compared to Varun or Kuldeep, but he's so accurate.
Akshay again. Around the wicket. He's in now, and Williamson will get the run this time, just tapping down the ground. And the score moves to 75 for 2 after 12 overs. And we're going to have a change here in the commentary box. I'm getting out of the way, and I'm going to leave you, Ramiz, in the company of your old mate, Jonathan Hackney.
Yeah, Jonathan without his dandy suit. Yeah, but looking pretty dandy in his jeans, gotta say. Agus?
It's all lovingly wrapped. It's waiting for tomorrow's flight.
All right, okay.
I know, I couldn't take it out of its suit covering. It's a beautiful dandy design suit cover.
Oh, wow.
It might last a couple of weeks. Perhaps about as long as the suit.
It's too hot to wear a suit here. Yeah.
Well, it is actually. But no, just a very nice souvenir from your lovely country, Ramiz.
Fantastic.
So there we go. We had a really good time there. You know, we really did. It's very, very friendly,
Good to know.
hospitable. Yeah, it's great. 75 for 2 then. So a bit of a check situation here for New Zealand, but they've got a master at the crease in Williamson, who played so well the other day to get to that 100 after a difficult start. He's on 11. Mitchell on 3. And Williamson looks around the field once more. There's 4 out now as Kohli. The ball. Oh no, he's just knocked back a catch. Oh dear. I think probably he's looking to nudge the ball down to long on for a single, and he's just knocked back the simplest return catch. And they're all on their feet in this Dubai cricket stadium. Indian flags are waving, and a very, very disappointed Williamson walks off. I think he just, well, yeah, he was looking, I think he's just looking to just push it away.
Yeah, I mean, it was a soft dismissal in the end. He was looking for that single down towards long on. But Kuldeep, what a start. His number suggested that he was probably, his position was on the line. If India were to play an extra seamer, his place would go in the playing 11. But look at the way he started. 2 wickets in no time, 2 massive blows.
Well, that's a big one. Kane Williamson looks around the stadium. You often wonder with, what, he's 34, isn't he? Would he see another? I don't know, but he's played in a lot of these finals, and it's a disappointed figure walking off now, thumping his bat into his pad as he walks over the boundary edge and away. So very much India's last 30 balls or so, 3 for 19 they've taken in that time, and what looked to be a promising, really quite exhilarating start for New Zealand. And at 7 and over, well, suddenly they've got the brakes on here. Current rate 6 and over, but they've now lost those 3 wickets, and 2 batsmen having to start. Latham's come out to join Mitchell. Test match opening batsman, of course. In fact, I think it's saying that 8 of the 11 of this New Zealand team are Test match regulars. And it's almost that sort of rebuilding that's going to have to happen here now. The pitch is good. Certainly at the moment there's little spin to talk about. Just 1 or 2 blemishes you can see now on that beige coloured strip. Kuldeep then moves in bowls, and Latham's forward, playing that first ball easily down the ground to long on over Varun Fields, and they take a single. So Latham's off the mark straight away.
Yeah, he's another good player in the middle phase. He plays spin so well, at par with Williamson. It's good that it's a right and left hand combination. Something for India to work and challenge Indian spinners.
Kuldeep moves in, bowls, and that's carefully played by Mitchell. Solid defensive stroke, played back to the bowler. And there's no run. Quite a din out there now. You can probably hear it back at home. And the ground it's filling up. It's almost full. There's an area down at the bottom end that's still largely empty. As Kuldeep fields the next one. It's a little bit uppish there again. Mitchell coming a little bit heavy at that ball.
I think they want this single through either mid-off or mid-on. But got to be careful. The ball is holding up ever so slightly, and if you're not reading the spin on it, then obviously get yourself into a little bit of bother.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cunning field setting really for Williamson, wasn't it? There's Kuldeep again bowling to him. And Mitchell does get a single now, just pushing the ball gently into the offside where Rohit Sharma fields, but the gap was there, the imitation was there, he went for it, and unless you're absolutely right over the ball and the back and the pitch of the ball, there is that chance of knocking back a catch. So credit to India for that and for the field placing, and of course to Kuldeep for delivering. 77 for 3, New Zealand winning the toss and batting first. Very excitable PR announcer. Good to see you, Ram. We'll catch you later on. I'm not sure what he's shouting about, but the crowd's enjoying it. Simon Mann looks a little bit weary to my right. But anyway, nice to see families here as well. Young kids coming along and enjoying this final. 77 for 3. And Mitchell over his bat, waits for Akshar Patel, as sort of a rolling spinner really. And his first ball's pushed away towards long on. It doesn't get there. It's picked up by the captain, Rohit Sharma, fielding inside the circle in the leg side. 1 of 5 plus the keeper. And again, same field really, long on, long off. So the imitation of the gap is there as Akshar bowls, and that's swung into the air out towards deep square leg. There's a fielder there who can't get there, and it's gone for 4. Just for a moment, I suspect there would be some Kiwi hearts in mouths, because it was a bit of a top edgy sort of a shot. But Mitchell's trying to see some initiative here. Shubman Gill is out there on the boundary, couldn't quite make the ground. 81 for 3, another boundary at least. Mitchell settles in again. Patel, tall man, bowls. It's carefully pushed back at him. And there is no run. So we're out of town here. Dubai is a massive, sprawling city, but here's Patel again, bowls, tucked away out to mid-wicket. You've got the main old city, you've got Jumeirah, of course. People tend to go on their holidays on the beach. But inland from there. 81 for 3. It's Patel, bowls, pushed away towards mid-off, and they're not quite going to get that. It's very well fielded by Jadeja running round. But I've got a Dubai resident sitting alongside me, Simon.
Afternoon,
Simon Dool, of course. This is your permanent home.
Yeah, well, not permanent, no. Between here and the UK, but my apartment is a 1.5-minute walk.
That's
just over the back. You can see it just out the window. You can see my balcony.
Missed the traffic.
Yeah, it's great.
There's Patel played out towards mid-wicket this time. So they finished building it then, because last time I was here, I've never seen so many cranes out there. It was like Crane City.
They're still here. It's growing so much out here with the new airport as well. The whole city's coming more and more this way. The new airport that's going in will be finished in about 10 years.
Oh, right. That's handy. Right. It's been on the cards for a while, that one, I think.
Yeah.
So and life is good here?
Great. Fantastic. Yes. I won't tell you where exactly the apartment is, but it hasn't been locked in 3 years. That's how safe the place is.
Was there anything in it?
But there's a few things.
Nothing worth stealing.
Well, nobody does it. That's the great thing about the place. It just doesn't happen.
It's
incredibly safe.
Keeps growing, doesn't it? Growing. Here comes Kohli, starting a new over as a single to the left-handed Latham. The first time I came here, I was working, doing something with the ICC, and I was put up on Jumeirah Beach. And there were 4 hotels on Jumeirah Beach, actually on the beach, and I was in one of them. And I had a desert view room, obviously, and it was the desert, and there were camels, and it was just sand at the back of that hotel. Went back about 5 years later. Oh, it's like Manhattan round there.
What year was that?
Incredible. Well, it's mid-90s. It's Kohli bowling, pushed away into the offside, Rowett Fields. Mid-90s, that sort of thing.
We came here for a tri series, I think, in '93. I think was the first time I came, and there was nothing between downtown Dubai and Sharjah. It was just complete desert the whole way to the stadium in Sharjah.
Now it's filled in.
Yeah.
It's all like one place almost, isn't it? And goes Kohli, bowls off the back foot, and there is no run. So yeah, it's kind of a sprawly place, but I guess you know your way around all these big roads, these trunk roads. But anyway, it's a very nice climate today. It certainly warms up a bit in June or July time. I experienced that once. I think we sent something to Zimbabwe in the ICC, and I sent out in June or July.
That's why I get away. I get away from about March onwards.
Yeah. Kohli again, tucked away out to mid-wicket. Jadeja is fielding with his trademark floppy hat on. 82 for 3 then. We're in the 15th over. We'll get Simon's thoughts on where this game is going in a second, because he does whistle through his overs a bit. Kohli, quite shaggy haired, spins himself a catch, and bundles in, bowls, pushed away towards mid-off. They think about a single, but Latham not interested. He's staying where he is, and Rowett picks the ball up, tosses it back for his bowler. Still the same field with long on and long off. Williamson, the last to perish, is tempted to try and push a ball down the ground for a single, but the ball might just have stopped a little bit on him. 82 for 3, and Kohli moves in bowls, and that will be a single as Mitchell plays that down the ground to the long off fieldsman. 15 overs gone, so it's a pretty bright start, wasn't it? But now 3 down.
Just assessing the situation, I think it comes to now. Drinks are on the field, aren't they?
Yeah,
drinks coming on. Just assessing the situation, and I don't think it's what we've seen in Pakistan. I guess it's not 350, 360. No. We saw India get there, but not look overly comfortable with that 260 odd against Australia in the semis. So I think New Zealand will be talking around the 280 mark. If it's something in that vicinity, you would think that it's competitive.
Yes.
Not necessarily a winning score, but I think it's competitive. So that one extra wicket, I think the wicket of Williamson has been a crucial one up.
He played so well the other day, didn't he?
So good.
A battling start, and then the fluency came, and it was such a well-paced one-day innings. And I do love Ravindra. I think he's gonna be a player, isn't he? And he's a character too.
Lovely.
Yeah,
such a lovely.
His interview
young
afterwards, he just kind of he really enjoyed it. Didn't he? I mean, he listened to some of the interviews that we get, which we were talking about during the tea break, by the way. Rob Key's interview that he gave, press conference on Thursday.
I read one excerpt from that. What?
Oh, he said quite a lot, including
about we say some rubbish.
We speak some nonsense at times, and they do. They do. I mean, some of the interviews the last few years have been hilarious. Batsmen saying they're not bothered getting out for 96, and all that sort of nonsense. You think, come on. So there's been a few things that have been said. That I don't know if you're a young player, you're trying to steer away from criticising your teammates or something. Maybe you find yourself getting a bit caught.
Everything's just friendly, feel good stuff, isn't it? Rather than a little bit of constructive criticism.
And the people who are listening to these things aren't fools, are they? If you hear that sort of stuff coming out, I think, really? Because then that's when they get criticised for it, isn't it? Because it is so ridiculous sometimes.
I think the milestone, it's an interesting one. I'll get your thoughts on that, actually. The milestone situation in a game of cricket, to me, is nowhere near as important as winning. So I look at T20 cricket more so than 50 over and Test match cricket in particular. Hundreds and things, they're your currency. In T20 cricket, I think winning the game is far more important than milestones. Now, there are some, and I think India probably won, that still believe milestones are the greatest thing. Did an IPL game where I actually mentioned Virat Kohli and thought that he eased his way to 100 with singles in a game in Bangalore. They got 220 in the game. Shubman Gill went from 88 to 100 in 3 shots, and they won the game with an over to spare. So both players got 100, one off 8 or 9 less deliveries. One took 9 to get to his 100, the other one took 3 to get to his 100, and the guy that took 3 balls to get to his 100 won the game for his team. So there's no room for milestones, I don't think, when you're batting first in T20 cricket.
No, that is, well, correct.
In the chasing, I've got no issue with it. Even in this game, chasing, no issue with milestones, because if you're going to win the game, a la Kohli against Pakistan.
If he's there, they win.
No issue. No issue with that, because they won it in plenty of time.
Yeah. Miller's innings the other day was
awful.
Thing. Well, what was that?
It was absolutely awful.
I agree, absolutely, but I could not work out what he was doing. I mean, why didn't he try and play like that when it actually mattered?
If he gets out for 75 or 80 with 4 overs to spare, you go, okay, he's tried to win the game, but he had zero interest in winning the game for his team.
It was an extraordinary performance. Anyway, 83 for 3. They've had a drink, and Mitchell's going to resume. He's on 9, and he's just blocking the first ball from Akshar Patel, bowling his left arm spin. And there's no run. Somebody's dashing around in front of the side screen up there. Not sure who he is, but not a very tall man. I think he's running laps.
Raghu. That's Raghu.
Is this Raghu?
Raghu, yeah.
Who's Raghu?
One of the Indian.
One of your TV people?
No.
It's, Mitchell playing back up the pitch again.
One of the Indian drinks runners.
You can recognise Raghu from here.
Yeah, he one of the best flickers in the game, Raghu.
Oh, is he?
With, the dog stick, whatever you call it. He is one of the best in the business.
Really? Patel bowls, and that's steered in Raghu's direction, actually. It's delivered some drinks up there, isn't he? And they pick up a single to long on, 83 for 3. Well, presumably he'll be on the tour in the summer then, if he's a dog stick champion.
Chris Donaldson, actually, he's changing sides after this event.
Oh.
The New Zealand trainer, former Olympian and Commonwealth sprinter, he's off to India to become their trainer.
Oh. Is that controversial?
A little. A little. I think he's been with New Zealand cricket for a long, long time, CD.
Right.
Very famous father, I guess.
In New Zealand sport. Here's Akshar bowling, and that's run away down to third man, and there's no run. What's his surname?
Donaldson.
Oh.
Movies. Cocktail. Species. World's fastest Indian.
Right.
These movies, you know?
No. Here's Latham defending the next one. No. They're on some sort of obscure channel somewhere.
No, I mean, these are Hollywood movies.
Are they? It is a Kiwi.
My goodness. Roger Donaldson. You need to do some Googling, you do.
Well, I obviously do. Here's Patel, and that's played away down the ground to long on, or move out for a quiet evening in Dubai and have to watch a big film list.
I didn't bring my phone. I could Google some Roger Donaldson movies. Right. Tell you, there's some you'll know, guaranteed.
And he is the father of.
He is the father of Chris Donaldson,
the trainer who's now going to India.
Now going to India, and who ran the Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games 100, 200 for New Zealand.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, thank you for that.
There you go.
Yeah. Were you in the game? You're probably playing at the Cake Tin when we were recorded for sound effects for one of those very famous New Zealand. Oh, there he's got an award. Roger Lindsay Donaldson is an Australian and New Zealand film director who's played off the back foot down to long on. You
know what the Aussies are like. They try and steal everything. Far lap, Pavlovas.
So the fact he was born in Ballarat has nothing to do with it.
He's Kiwi. Grew up in New Zealand. Films?
Well, we'll look up famous Australian films. I'm sure you'll pop up. 86 for 3. Oh, The Bounty. Well, how do you know The Bounty? No Way Out. Cocktail, yeah, okay. 1984, 1987. Here's the next one anyway. And that's a lovely wrong, and that spins across the face of the bat. It's very nicely taken by Rahul, actually. No, you've got a seriously famous director who.
Peter Jackson.
Correct. He came to the Cake Tin.
All right.
To record the crowd of a one-day international between New Zealand and England.
Okay.
For one of his films. We had to be as a reverse sweep attempt, which is stopped by the keeper rather than taken. We were kind of warriors at the top of a hill about to launch an attack. And he was out in the middle of the cake tin in Wellington with his microphone. So, right, now I want this sound. Or whatever it was.
Seriously?
Yeah, and there's, 25,000 people?
Brilliant.
All making the sound effects for his film.
So the film couldn't have gone ahead without you?
Well, I don't think you could hear me. It's tucked away out to mid-wicket for a single. I don't think it necessarily stood out. There are a lot of people there, but we're on it.
Wow.
We're there. There's no credits. So it doesn't credit, the One Day International crowd at the cake tin.
Right.
But yeah, it's not a bad way of getting a crowd noise. A place like this, it kind of hollows and echoes round, doesn't it? Kuldeep again. It's taken a couple of wickets, and this is driven away down for a single down to long off. And they take one more run, 88 for 3.
Just feel a bit more
Victorian towns, country towns, get a lot of mentions on this broadcast today.
Do they? What have you had? We've just had Ballarat.
We've had Geelong, a couple of.
Geelong.
We've got 2 listeners in Geelong.
Nice spot, Geelong. Love the races in Geelong.
Oh,
good. Yeah, nice race day. Geelong Cup day.
There's a little reverse sweep down to fine leg. Can they get 2? Probably can. Yes, they will do. And chase for Patel down there. Sends a throw in on the bounce. I said, don't drive too fast through Geelong. You get the chap on a motorbike. Yeah. Gives you a ticket. Anyway, 88 for 3. That was a long time ago. I should have got over it by now, shouldn't I? Latham 5. Mitchell has 13. 17 overs gone. More from Simon Gill, and it's lovely to have him here. And then Simon Mann's coming in.
New Zealand feel a little bit more comfortable, I think, with the spin taking over through the middle period here with Latham at the crease. He's comfortably New Zealand's best player of spin bowling. Reads it well. That's not a mocker's call, but he picks up length well. He reads the spinners very well and generally just calms things down through the middle period of this time. Afternoon, Simon.
Good afternoon. Here is Archie Patel, 3 overs rate so far. Bowls to Latham. Latham nudges it way backward a square for a single. New Zealand moved to 91 for 3, start of the 18th over. You were born in the most beautiful country in the world, or one of them, and you now live in Dubai. Yeah, well, COVID, divorces, lack of work. Oh, right. How long have we got? Right, okay. Sacha bowls, and that's driven by Mitchell up towards long. I think that's a different programme, actually. Oh, tell you. Jeepers. And I suppose for work it's quite convenient bit, isn't it? That's the thing, because you're close to it. 92 for 3. We're in the 18th over, and New Zealand, although beautiful, is a long way away. Here's Archer bowling round the wicket to Latham, who dabs it short of backward point for a comfortable single. Latham goes to 7, Mitchell's on 14. It's 93 for 3. Yeah, in the day of, cost cutting, I think, around the world and broadcasting at different times, that to fly someone from New Zealand to the other side of the world is very, very expensive. There's Archer bowling left arm round to the right-handed Mitchell, nudged into the onside to the right of mid-wicket. Shot the stumps, hits them, but I think he's home. There's an appeal for a run out, and Rohit's going to get the congratulations for hitting the stumps. It felt as though he was home, but we'll need the replay just to check it. They're always a lot tighter than you think, but I'm with you, just home. It just took a little bit longer, Rohit Sharma, to get the ball in the hand. Was turning in the opposite direction, had to throw at the bowler's end. He was facing the keeper's end, had to turn and throw at the bowler's end. Took a little bit longer. And just home. Just over the line. Showing it again to be absolutely sure. He was probably half the length of a bat home, something like that, by the time the throw hit the stumps. 94 for 3. Mitchell goes to 15. Archie Patel continues, bowls to Latham, and Latham has a fiddle outside the off stump, misses it. It's taken by KL Rahul, who nips off the bails, back foot behind the line, nothing doing there. 94 for 3. And so much cricket in this part of the world nowadays, Simon, as well, whether it be Asia or Dubai or not far from the UK. I think umpire Rifle caught over. He's missed a ball, isn't he? And he's missed the ball. I think that's what happened there, yeah. Come on, Pistol. It's the ICC Champions Trophy final, mate. You got one job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know. Everyone's a bit nervous out there. But you can look at the big screen as well. That helps you out a bit, doesn't it? It's a 17.5 on there. Thatcher bowls, and Latham dabs a single, and that gap between short third and cover. Rohit's after it, ends down to pick it up. And that's the end of 18 overs now. New Zealand 95 for 3. Latham has 8, Mitchell has 15. The men out. Young for 15, Ravindra for 37, and Williamson for 11. 57 for the first wicket. The first time that the team has put together a 50-plus opening partnership against India in this final. But then the spinners came on, and immediately the game changes.
Just going back to Paul Rife, I love watching the umpires' faces. I know it's not a nice thing for them, but the overturning of decisions, I've got to say his is the most sour of faces. You watch all the umpires when they have to reverse their decision, and I think Paul Rifle's got it covered of all of the umpires.
He likes it least, does he?
Yeah, I think so.
I suppose the one consolation for the umpires these days is that, I mean, you get marked down, don't you, eventually, if you keep getting overturned, but at least the decision's correct. You come up with the right decision. So, as a team, here's Varun Chakravarti going into bowl to Latham, who opens the face on the back foot and runs it towards short third. And there's no run. Joel Wilson on TV umpiring duties today. There's a bit of security of the technology there to help him out. Here's Varun Chakravarti bowling, and Latham's forward, again opening the face, and this time skillfully played to the right of short third. He's after it. Jadeja sent in the return, throws on its way. The bails are off, and they come back for the second. That was really good running, actually. Latham taking the risk, in inverted commas, back to the striker's end. He's off quickly for the first. Turned, actually was coming back almost without a sort of sense there was two there.
He's quick too, Jadeja. You have to make sure with Ravi Jadeja, he is so quick.
Gets there quickly, gets the return in. He's like a cat after it. So quick. 97 for 3. 19th over. Latham on 10. Skillfully played. Actually, good bit of cricket that all round. Nice shot, well run, good fielding. Chakravarti in his 4th over, 1 for 23. Did go for 9 in his first over, including 5 wides from his first ball. There must be someone moving because the game stopped. Umpire Edingworth is asking someone to sit down beneath us. The crowd now, well, not absolutely full, not every seat taken, but decent sized crowd. Chakravarti bowls. Forward goes Latham, plays it into the onside, picked up by the bowler away to his left-hand side. Have you seen any New Zealand support at all?
Yeah, there's a box up the end there. Look, there's a flag. See the flag just to the right of the big India scoreboard. There's a few of our contingent are up there.
Right. So about 7 then?
I'd go maybe 13, 14.
13 or 14.
Just into double figures.
19th over, 97 for 3. Latham's forward defending that. Well, looking to try to find an angle for a single, but it's too close to cover.
If I could have got my hands on more tickets, there'd be more here.
Right, okay.
Just impossible.
A bit like that, was it?
Impossible to get hold of. Messages from people I hadn't heard of in years.
There's a big section down there. There's no one sitting in it. It must be about, what, 300 seats there?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Here's Chakravarti bowling to Latham on the back foot, guides it away towards square cover on the boundary. Shreyas Iyer dropped that catch earlier, rushing round the boundary against Ravindra. But that didn't cost India too many. He was out for 37. 98 for 3, New Zealand winning the toss, batting first. Last ball of the 19th over. Mitchell just giving himself a bit of time here. You can be hustled a bit by this Indian spin attack. They're at you quickly and often, rattling through the overs, just holding things up for a moment. Here's Chakravarti. Got a purposeful run for a spinner. Some just walk in, he runs in, and it's dabbed into the offside. Latham responds to the call, and they're home for another single. 99 for 3 at the end of 19 overs. Chakravarti 4 overs, 1 for 25. Latham has 11. Mitchell has 16. If you've missed any of the wickets so far, they're on the BBC Sport website. You can see the highlights. 3 of them have gone down.
You go back a week, I think, Simon, the New Zealand-India game. Mitchell was 17 off 35 in that one. He really struggled to get going, and the partnership with Williamson just stalled things a little bit in the middle. But New Zealand were probably under a little bit more scoreboard pressure on that occasion. Today, I don't think they're actually under a lot of scoreboard pressure. All but 100, 31 overs to go. another 170, 180. I think they'll feel pretty good with anything above 275, 280, 290 would be great.
You feel you're in the game with that sort of score, don't you? Here's Jadeja bowling. And it's knocked away into the onside by Mitchell. Jadeja across to pick up. He's bowling in his sunglasses. Sun's out now. There's some cloud above today. It's not a blisteringly hot afternoon like it was yesterday, but it's still warm, low 30s. Jadeja bowls to Mitchell, who drives up towards the long off, and they're through for a single. We didn't see much of that game last week because we were on our way from Karachi to Lahore, but we were keeping up to date with it. And there were, even in Pakistan, there were people watching the game on their phones, really intently watching the game. So occasionally you look over someone's shoulder at the airport to see how things
see what was going on.
Yeah, it took us quite a long time to make that journey. Here is Jadeja. Bowls to Latham, he gets tucked up by that one, looking to dab into the offside. Hits it up the onside of the pitch. Jadeja steps forward to pick up. So just a reminder of the scores. New Zealand made 249. India made 249 for 9, and New Zealand, under the pressure of the chase, 205 all out. Jadeja bowls, he's bowling around the wicket to the left-hander. Forward goes Latham, plays it back to the bowler, picks up and immediately walks back to his mark. Jadeja's one of those who really can hustle through and over. Maharaj is probably the quickest in world cricket, but Jadeja's quick as well. That one is outside the off stump, tapped away off the back foot by Latham towards short third.
Be a good race. Minute and a half. I think we've timed Jadeja before, and he can do it in under a minute and a half if he's not going for runs.
Be a good contest, wouldn't it? That's between those two. This time Latham goes back and plays it square with the wicket out towards deep cover. The 100's up for New Zealand in the 20th over. Maharaj the other day, chucking the ball back to his mark, bowls, that's a real benefit to the fielding side, because you just feel as though you're being assailed as well by the bowling attack.
And from a batting point of view, you're just getting squeezed, and there's no respite because it's all coming so quickly. So with Jadeja and Akshar in particular, those two in tandem, all of a sudden 5, 6, 7 overs go by, and you feel like you haven't gone anywhere, and the scoreboard hasn't moved much at all either.
101 for 3 after 20 overs. So still bags of time for New Zealand, but they're kind of in the balance here. If they were to lose another couple of quick wickets now, and it could be something like 200. But I know actually the New Zealand batting order is quite long, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah, we've got Jameson coming in at 10. Yeah, it's not bad. Varun Chakravarti bowls. Shout for LBW, that's going down, surely. Umpire Illingworth says no. KL Rahul really liked it. Chakravarti, not so much. I suppose the wicket-keeper, well, A, they shout for everything, and B, slightly obscured by the batter.
That's the one he fires in. A lot quicker. It's a cross-seamer, but up around the 112, 113 kilometres.
Rahul was actually going down the leg side there. Chakravarti bowls. Latham's looking for that single through the offside. Jadeja's in sharply. Picks up, his hat falls off. Has the ball in his hand. There's no run. 101 for 3. One of the problems for New Zealand here is that they're just going to have spin from this.
It's a trial by spin, isn't it? 35 overs of it.
101 for 3. 21st over. Chakravarti moves in purposefully. Latham drives, gets a single along the ground through a long off. Cat and mouse cricket at the moment. It's no different, of course, from T20 where you've got to go for it. But this game, you can just bide your time. We saw New Zealand actually do it in that semi-final against South Africa. They didn't go hard all the time. They left some in the tank for later.
Being 3 down, they just have to set themselves up for that last 12 to 15 overs.
There's Chakravarti bowling to Mitchell. Mitchell's forward, digging out full delivery. Back to the bowler. Bends down to pick up. 44 balls since the last boundary. 102 for 3. 21st over. This is Chakravarti going in to bowl to Mitchell, who sweeps, makes reasonable contact, but hits it straight to the short fine leg fielder, who is Jadeja, and there's no run either side, and that would have been 4, even though he didn't hit it sweetly. Got enough bat on it. Of course, New Zealand did this, didn't they? They just built a score in the World Cup final against England in 2019. They just made sure they had a score on the board, and another day it would have been a winning score. Here's Mitchell offering the full face of the bat there, getting that bat right out in front of the pad. Goes away into the offside towards extra cover. It's the end of the over. Simon's back to his TV duties. Going to go and have a chat with those 6 or 7 Kiwi supporters who are here today. And New Zealand, after 21 overs, are 102 for 3. Latham has 13. Mitchell has 17. It is just about 99.999% Indian in terms of support today. A colourful occasion. Flags, light blue shirts supporting the Indian team. And to be fair, here is Jadeja beginning the over. Bowls to Latham, who drives up towards mid-off, gets there too quickly for them to get a single. He's on the edge of the circle. The ball was hit firmly. To be fair, just about wherever India play white ball cricket, there are there's always a lot of support anywhere in the world. I talk about this being a kind of home venue for them. Lots of grounds, home venues for them, even though they're playing away. Latham taps that one away into the offside towards deep cover. Through for a single. 103 for 3 in the 22nd. Alex Hartley back alongside me.
Well, these two are just trying to take a little bit of pressure out of the 3 quick wickets that they lost, and they've done that, but both struggling to rotate the strike.
Well, Mitchell's 17 from 37. Jadeja bowls. Mitchell plays this slightly uppishly, but through the vacant mid-on area. It's a half a miscue. 104 for 3.
Which is what India did so well, or do so well, sorry. The spinners come on, they just milk it, knock the ball down the ground. They go at 5 and over without any real effort.
Jadeja. Also Latham, shout for LBW. Jadeja really likes it. He's desperate for it. He's run down the pitch. Umpire Rifle says no. What are they going to do here? He's bowling left arm round, so it's got to do quite a lot. It's got to pitch on and really straighten a lot. It's got to turn a lot, really. 5, 4, 3, 2, goes for it. Well, he was right up by the keeper by the time that it was absolutely clear that umpire Rifle was not going to call that out. And had a quick chat with Rahul. Rohit came in as well. He's a long way forward.
Decision is not out. Check the feet. It's a fair delivery. I'm looking at split screen at the moment. Ball is passing close to the body, maybe a little gap. Let's check ultra edge just to make sure.
It's umpire Wilson.
Ultra edge, please.
A bit high.
Yeah, I think because he's got a big stride in here, a bit high.
Has he
Flat
hit
line,
it?
I can see that gap. Keep going. Yeah, there's no bat involved. Ball tracker, and it's a win.
It's missed the front pad and hit the back leg. I think it's going over.
This is not hit the front pad. It's the
Original decision is not out. That ball is pitching outside off, impact in line, and the wicket's missing. Paul, stay with your original decision of not out. Stand by. Your on-screen signal now.
So, not out. And actually, Simon Dahl was saying that umpire Rifle kind of like his body language hates to be overturned. That's a nice feeling, isn't it?
I am
I
right.
got that one right, everybody.
Thank you.
And I could totally understand why Jadeja got excited there, because it did almost everything a left-arm spinner bowling round the wicket to the left-hander wants it to do. It pitched on and it turned. It did straighten. It was going over the top of the stumps. It was a straight ball, but just had too much elevation on it. Jadeja bowls again, forced back by Latham, back up the pitch, stopped by Jadeja, no run, 104 for 3. Last ball of the 22nd. Jadeja bowls. Forward goes Latham, plays that into the onside. Gosh, they are rattling through here, India. Jadeja's bowled 2 overs for 4. It's 104 for 3. After 22 overs, Latham is 14 from 28. Mitchell is 18 from 38.
We often talk about as spinners, can you keep the stumps in play for as long as possible? Can you be up and around that 50%? Just every single ball hitting the stumps, especially on a pitch like today when it's hard to rotate the strike. And India have done exactly that. Axar 58%, Kuldeep 48%, Varant 42%. All hitting the stumps so far today. So no wonder New Zealand are finding it hard just to keep rotating the strike. Which, sorry, it's completely different for Axar. He only bowls outside the off stump. So his line is just to go outside the off stump, turn the ball away from the right-hander and just get hit into the covers one, build pressure that way. So a little tactic change from him today.
Yeah. Well, Vic was Vic Mart's been with us throughout the competition. He's actually gone home to look after the grandchildren. And hello, Vic, if you're listening. But I mean, he's been saying throughout the tournament, the finger spinner, they're kind of a bit underrated. But actually, someone like Archer, just here is a new over from Virat Kohli. First ball's clipped away towards mid-wicket, and there's no run. Archer Patel, he just does such a solid job for India. He got in my team of the competition.
I can't.
A few runs and wickets.
He got in mine. I think he's batting at 5.
Yeah, which is where he does bat for this Indian team. You can check out our teams on the BBC Sport website if you're so inclined. 104 for 3, 23rd over. And here is Chakravarti, reverse sweep, gets it down fine. It's going down towards the boundary. It's not perfectly struck by Mitchell on the reverse. It's picked up inside the rope. Kuldeep Yadav is there. Throws it into Rahul. And they're back for 2 runs. 106 for 3 in the 23rd. Mitchell goes to 20. Trying something different there. Here's Chakravarti on the reverse. He went through first slip. Bit of a under edge. He settles over his bat now. Mitchell's a very good striker of the ball down the ground. Comes forward, then pokes it back to the bowler. At the moment, just trying to piece something together. There is a long on and long off in for the miscue, and it's so easy to miscue a bowler like Vadan Chakravarti. Not that long now. He'll be playing in the opening match of the IPL in a couple of weeks' time. Here is Chakravarti. It was a full toss. Mitchell pokes it back, and Chakravarti dives to his left and stops it. Goes out towards extra cover.
Surprise ball, that one, the full toss, and one of those where Daryl Mitchell probably could have hit that anywhere, but he's leaning forward looking just to defend the ball, so taps it back to the bowler.
Yeah, really missed out there. 106 for 3, 23rd over. Chakravarti bowls full. Mitchell drives, beats the dive at extra cover. That was a bit of a going down in instalments dive there. Is it Rohit, the captain?
It is.
Yeah.
It is indeed. Diving on those used wicket ends, they're rock solid, like concrete. Yeah.
I saw Glenn Phillips yesterday in breakfast. He's got a patch over his left elbow where he's done all that diving. It's horrible once you take the skin off. And talking about earlier, but again, you weren't with us. Go to the BBC Sport website. An interview with Glenn Phillips talking about fielding, and very interesting it is too. Written by Matt Henry, but also talks a lot about flying. 7 for 3 and archery. There's Chakravarti bowling. Forward goes Latham, back up the onside of the pitch. It's the end of the over. That one's shot by as well. India rattling through. 23 overs gone. 107 for 3. Alex, and then Henry Moran.
Well, because there's so much spin that India have rattled through their overs, it's something that we're not really used to in 50 over cricket, is looking up at the scoreboard and a team being in front. Normally you go 4 or 5 minutes behind, or they're 10 minutes behind. One of the games the other day, they were like 17, 18 minutes up, and we were like, that can't be right. Next minute, they're 30 minutes up. They've been rattling through the overs.
But they still finished the innings on time.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? There must be some sort of buffer.
I think everyone's so used to the innings dragging on forever. I can guarantee one thing, speaking of the IPL, it will not feel like games rattle along.
Absolutely not. They'll all be 6 hours.
107 for 3. The partnership's 32 from 64, so it has been quite slow going. Here's Jadeja in the sunglasses, running into bowl, and Mitchell get a run down the ground with a little flick of the wrists. 108 for 3. How are you, Alex?
Very well. Always feel incredibly lucky when you commentate a final of a competition.
I thought you were going to say when I sat down next to you.
Well, that as well. We had a lovely photo on the field today, actually.
We did, and then told we've got to go. To get telling off. Oh, big appeal for LBW. Give him! Latham's been given out LBW. Ravindra Jadeja celebrates. And New Zealand's best player of spin reviews the decision. But the celebrations in the crowd and on the field tell you quite how significant this could be. It looked good. It was full up.
Yeah, I think this is out. I think this is absolutely stone dead. Latham on the sweep, looking to hit the ball into the leg side, doesn't pick the fuller delivery.
We have a player review for LBW, the original. It's out. Check the feet, it's a full delivery. Looking at the split screen at the moment. The ball is passing under the bat, bat's going across it, so I want to check ultra head just to put it back.
It's close to the bat.
The only thing that's saving him is bat.
It's coming up now.
Here comes old Craig.
Gap, keep going. bowler's pass bat. There's no bat involved. Flat line. Ball trapper. Run away. Original decision is out. That ball is pitching in line. The impact is in line. The wicket's hitting. The call stay with your original decision. Don't stand back.
So he's out.
On-screen signal.
14 from 30, and New Zealand are in trouble here. 108 for 4. The innings having slowed down has now seen another wicket fall, and this burgeoning partnership between Latham and Mitchell that felt like it was providing solidity, if not necessarily much forward momentum, but it has now lost that solidity. And to the middle comes somebody who is much more associated with aggression towards the back end of an innings and rebuilding and consolidating. It's Glenn Phillips, but Latham goes. That's a big blow, Alex.
Yeah, huge blow. And it's always the danger, isn't it, when you're trying to absorb pressure and you're ticking along 2-3 runs and over. I mean, in the last 30 balls, only 11 runs coming off the bat. So New Zealand have really struggled, and the bowlers are on top. The spinners get to settle into their spell. And yes, as a batting unit, you are taking pressure out of the game, but in a way you're also adding pressure as well. You need to be able to rotate the strike. You cannot let a bowler settle. And Jadeja has bowled 2.2 overs and only gone for 5 runs, and he's taken that wicket.
So 108 for 4 as Phillips comes to the middle. New Zealand, well, we've spoken a lot about what we feel they need to do to put pressure on an excellent India side. Yeah, you can look at it the other way around as well. What do India need to restrict New Zealand to? But it does feel as though, as favourites in this game, it's more a question of what can be done by New Zealand to try and find a way of stopping this great big blue juggernaut towards another title.
You just felt everything would have had to have gone New Zealand's way today for them to get a win. It's not over yet, though.
First ball to be faced by Phillips. Right-hander, rather crabbily forward in defence. Hello to Nicholas, enjoying the commentary. Thanks for your email. tms@bbc.co.uk is the way to get in touch. Jadeja, sleeves rolled up, round the wicket, into bowl to Phillips, who punches down the ground with a rather jerky action to get 1 run. 109 for 4. You can see that wicket amongst the best of the action on the BBC Sport website and app. And Latham, who's an excellent sweeper, I think he probably knew, didn't he?
Absolutely knew, but he's got to take the review, hasn't he? He has to. The situation that they're in.
Jadeja, round the wicket, bowling to Mitchell, who drives as a misfield. That should have been stopped by Akshar Patel. A little bit sloppy at extra cover. 1 run taken, 110 for 4. Latham making 14 off 30.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Glenn Phillips plays this, because throughout this tournament he's only played in one way, and that's aggressive. Strike rate of 150, 200. You know, he's taken the game on in a different way. Does he have the capability of batting for 25 overs here?
Jadeja with a slip in place, bowls to Phillips. A lot of bottom hand as that drive towards cover is fielded, and Jadeja finishes his 3rd over. He's bowled 18 balls, forgive me. And with that partnership having been broken, Jadeja having the pressure on. He's only conceded the 3 runs so far. We've gone 64 balls since we've seen a boundary, Alex.
Yeah, that's quite a long time.
Well, it's over 10 overs,
yeah,
but that's a long time.
But that's, you know, the spinners have been so accurate. We were talking about the stump hitting percentage, sorry. And it's very high for India today. They know how to play. They've played here before, as have New Zealand, but they've played all their games here. So incredibly hard to get the ball away when it's hitting the top of off stump.
That stat you mentioned about the number of balls going on to hit the stumps, it just goes to show how well these India spin bowlers have done. Here comes Virat Kohli into the ground from Mitchell. Crowd think it might be a catch as it's retrieved on the bounce. I've just been outside, Alex. I mean, it is like an India home game.
Yeah, absolutely.
The crowd, and also the PA announcements, it's, you know, it is all
India.
That noise, yeah. Virat Kohli to bowl to Mitchell, forward in defence, and tap down the ground into space for a single. Actual field down below us as the sun shines. Has to be said, I can't see a single New Zealand fan.
Well, Simon Dole pointed out that there was about 13 of them to our right.
Well, that's some, I suppose. It's not very many. Has to be said.
He said he'd have been able to get more in had he been able to get any tickets, but all gone.
Well, there is that end up there where there's been some big banks of empty seats all tournament. Varane bowls drilled down the ground from the bat of Phillips for a single. He moves on to 2. It's 112 for 4.
I think they're the expensive ones, though. Did a bit of Googling.
Oh, yeah. But even so, you'd have thought India in a final.
I know.
It's not that far as a flight, is it?
It's also in the sun all day, isn't it?
There is that. So maybe it'll fill up later on tonight. Here is Varane again. Bowls a full delivery and he fields off his own bowling. Almost does. It just squirms through for 1. He's into his 7th over now. 1 for 32. It's 113 for 4. 3 from the over so far. Just to put into a little bit of context, what we spoke about, so 270 being around about what we thought New Zealand would be looking for. Anything above that would feel a decent score. Well, they have to go to run a ball from here to reach 264. They're 4 down already. Got 2 balls until the midway point of the innings. Varun Chakravarti is in, pushed into the offside, into space, nicely angled away, but only for 1. And Phillips on to 3, with the score standing at 114 for 4.
Yeah, I think 280 will be a really good score from here, but they cannot lose a wicket in the next 5 or 6 overs. These two have to build a partnership.
Well, still to come, Bracewell, Santner, Smith, Jameson and O'Rourke. Here is Varun Chakravarti again. 4 from the over so far. Will there be a 5th there? No, because Virat Kohli moves to his right quickly at mid-wicket. You always know it's Kohli. You don't necessarily even have to be looking out there, because you can hear the cheer. The extra few decibels that accompany his efforts to field. So 4 from the over, 114 for 4 is the score. And India, who broke that duck of an ICC Trophy drought last year in the T20 World Cup final. I mean, it does make a difference. You know that you can do it.
Absolutely.
Get over the line.
It changes your mindset. You know, South Africa, we talk about South Africa and their semi-final misery over the last few years when it comes to ICC trophies. Then they got to the ICC final and everyone goes, oh, maybe that drought's gone, or maybe they'll find a way of winning, but they still found a way to lose that final.
Jadeja to continue from the far end. Worked into the onside, but straight towards the hands of Akshar Patel at mid-wicket. No run.
So for India, it's almost like, right, we've done it now. We know what to do. We just have to play our best.
Played into the ground again. This time, Jadeja will move to his left to field off his own bowling.
I think when it comes to 50-over cricket, India are the best team in the world. They just know their matchups, don't they? They know their combinations. They know how to set a total, a run chase.
Slip in place as bowled once more by Jadeja, jamming down on it. Phillips will block, and something is frustrating the New Zealand batter, who's waving his arms, and I think it's because...
There's a man in the middle of the sight screen.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. He's on the phone.
Oh, what are you doing?
What are you doing up there? Move. Oh, yeah. Who, me? Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're in the way. Mate.
He's just trotted down the stairs and thought, this is a terribly good seat. I wonder when nobody's sitting here.
There's nobody sat here.
For goodness sake. Oh, it amazes me how often that happens. 114 for 4. Now 73 balls since the boundary. Jadeja bowling to Phillips. Another dot. The crowd enjoying the Mexican wave. We had concentric ones the other day. One going anti-clockwise on the bottom tier, one going clockwise on the top.
I didn't even notice that.
That was good fun.
Yeah. I always thought a Mexican wave goes...
Jadeja, quicker ball this time. That'll be played off the back foot for a single. Down the ground it goes, and 1 is taken. 115 for 4.
I always thought every time I've been involved, it comes from my right and goes to the left.
I think that feels like and I don't know who decides which way it goes.
It's true. I don't like a Mexican wave, to be honest.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just sit down, you're getting in the way.
Jadeja bowling to Mitchell. He tries to stop it with his feet, does the India bowler, but he can't do so a second run comes from the over. It's 116 for 4. Mitchell's 26 or 50. Phillips 4 from 10. Fascinating piece on the BBC Sport website, chatting to Glenn Phillips about his fielding, amongst many other things. I spoke to him yesterday morning. He's a lovely guy. And talking about the flight simulator that he has with him in his room, he takes around the world.
Flies for 4 or 5 hours a day?
Yeah. So he says that he might fly from Christchurch to Auckland, the full thing, or he might go Dubai to Istanbul, whatever.
Yeah, Manchester Heathrow is one of his personal faves. Whether or not that's because he gets to, I was going to say fly in some turbulence because of our weather. It's not a quick flight. It's not a long flight, is it?
No, but I suppose, you know, if you did London to New York, quite a lot of time without much happening, isn't there?
Yeah. I've done one, but I'd love to do more. You just sit in it and you just put it on autopilot, don't you?
Here is Kuldeep, the start of a new over. He's driven up the ground, up towards wide long off, and a single will be taken. 117 for 4. I mean, I think there is slightly more to it than that.
We did a team bonding day at an RAF camp once for England. We all got to fly some planes.
Simulators.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, not real ones. You think they'd let me fly a real plane?
Understate. In comes Kuldeep to bowl to Phillips, who's deep in the crease and defending. I just can imagine her sort of drifting off at the start of a flight. Hello, it's your captain speaking.
You're in for a bumpy ride.
I tell you, that would wake you up, wouldn't it? Sophie Eccleston said she wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah.
117 for 4. Here comes Kuldeep again, over the wicket, left arm wrist spin. Looking for the run down the ground, unable to find it is Phillips. Can't beat mid-wicket and Virat Kohli. As Kuldeep again. As moves in now. And a ball that is jabbed down towards short third. Ooh, there's a thought of a run, and in the end, Daryl Mitchell at the non-striker's end is holding his bat out and his arm out wide in to say, that wasn't my idea, it was yours. Stay there. 117 for 4. What's the old saying about flying a plane? It's 99% boredom, 1% sheer terror. Well, I'm sure it's not, but I think that was always the old description.
Was it?
I hope it's not tomorrow.
117 for 4. It's pushed into the offside and there is no run. So Kuldeep has bowled almost 5 overs now, and he's picked up 2 for 14. He's having some fun.
I think the best part of a flight is turbulence, though.
I'm not sure Simon Mann agrees with that.
No, not for you. So exciting. You never know what's going to happen. You're sat there like this.
117 for 4. Hit down the ground. There's a nice sound off the bat. Has it got the distance? It goes sailing towards us and slapping into the side screen. Well, Phillips got hold of it. It's a lovely piece of timing. Free swing of the bat. And finally, they break the shackles. That long time since a boundary's been struck. And finally, New Zealand do manage to get something a little more meaningful on the scoreboard. 123 for 4.
It was always going to be Glenn Phillips as well, wasn't it? Really interesting to see how he plays this. We know how he likes to play and how he has played in this tournament. Comes in at the back end of the innings, just bashes a few around, changes the game within minutes. He's got a long time to bat today. He's going to have that devil on his shoulder going, hit it as far as you can.
Well, that's what makes it interesting, a 50-over game, is you do have to show a little more patience. What is it, these stats you hear about players that start their career and have never batted beyond the 6th over of their innings because they've just never needed to, because it's all been T20 and they've been smashing it at the top of the order. Jadeja to Mitchell, who's dropping into the offside. There'll be no runs there. Rowett Fields at backward point.
I used to love it though when I was bowling and I'd get hit down the ground for 6 because you've got your long on, your long on back, long off and your long on back. You're in the game.
Yeah.
I used to hate just being knocked around, just take one into square leg. I'd be like, will you just do something exciting, please? Try and hit me.
Jadeja round the wicket, bowls a quicker ball this time. Mitchell leans on and we'll get one down the ground. Up it goes towards Akshar Patel in the sunshine, who's making a lot of ground around this field. He's running from that end in the distance right down here to field at fine leg below us now, towards square leg to our left. Cover a lot of ground over the course of 50 overs.
How many Ks do you reckon I used to cover in an ODI?
It's a lot. It's something like 10, isn't it? Here is Jadeja. Deep in the crease, Phillips will defend.
12.
Really?
Yeah, 12. No wonder I was in better shape.
It's a long way, 12 kilometres.
And I wasn't batting.
A little bit of space created by Phillips. That's a nice shot. He beats backward point Mohammed Shami, and they'll turn for a second run. Shreyas Iyer loses his cap in front of that big bank of supporters who are waving the flags as much as anything to keep cool at the moment.
The best bit was, like, you'd have Heather Knight extra cover all day, and if she didn't bat or got out early, she'd have to run at the end of a game because to stay fit and get your miles in. I never had to do that. I was running fine leg to fine leg all day.
Yeah, so you always feel bad for the players that have to do those little extra fitness sessions. Oh, it's half an appeal for LBW, and it's more coming from Slip and Rohit Sharma than it is from the keeper or the bowler, but Jadeja again asking questions. He's conceded just 12 from the 4.5 overs that he's bowled so far. 126 for 4. Final ball of the 28th over incoming now, and Mitchell rather jaggily forward and jumping it into the onside. 126 for 4. It will remain. So 3 from that over. Projected score at the current rate would see them reach 225. They want a few more than that. And at the moment, no wonder it's the India supporters dancing and enjoying themselves. And the innings time are 9 minutes ahead, Alex. He just goes to show how quickly they get through these.
Goes to show how quickly you can get through your overs as well. Obviously, more spin here in Dubai than we've seen probably anywhere for a while. It's going into a game with 2 seamers.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? You see such a different characteristic from these surfaces in Dubai to what we saw in Pakistan. I mean, a final on a quick pitch in Pakistan would have been thrilling, wouldn't it? Here comes Kuldeep to start a new over. And a little bit short and helped away into the leg side from the bat of Mitchell, who perhaps if this was over number 49 than 29, he might have tried to give it a bit more and clear the ropes. He doesn't on this occasion, just gets 1 out towards the deep.
I think you're right. I think he'd have tried to hoy that a little bit further.
Yeah, that's all about the patience and the need just to show a little bit of discipline. Kuldeep whirls his arms over once more. Deep in the crease, it's just pushed away by Phillips into the offside. No run. Do join the conversation. tms@bbc.co.uk.
We were saying last night, we had a little team dinner, minus Simon Man, he didn't fancy it. He decided to watch Bristol City, Bristol Rovers.
Kuldeep bowls another shorter ball, and this time looking for the run into the offside. It won't be found. Stopped at cover. Don't say that, Alex.
We were saying, though, Bristol City, I know it's Bristol City. We were saying, the best bit of the day is people emailing in. I love it.
Hearing what people are up to.
Yeah, where they are.
Kuldeep bowls a ball that is a little bit short again, and this will be clattered away through the offside. There's no protection at deep cover, and Phillips grateful to gobble up the opportunity to find 4 runs. His second boundary, 131 for 4, is the score with a couple of balls left of the 29th over. Gary Russell emails, speaking of which. Great to hear TMS again. Listening in St. Lucia, arrived yesterday. A full circumnavigation of 24,680 miles around the world in 1 year, 1 month and 22 days. Defended into the onside, and there is no run on Skylark 2. Looking forward to flying to Bridgetown tomorrow and visiting Kensington Oval for the first time to watch the Barbados Pride against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Pride. My first live cricket in 18 months. Hoping to find England in the final, but alas, no. Here is Kuldeep. Pushed into the offside, but there will be no run. 131 for 4, 29 overs gone. A mention to Captain Dan and M for getting me here safely. Well done you. That puts your 12k in a 50-over match to shame, doesn't it? Right, here's Jonathan Agnew.
There's one thing that strikes me from that. Has this geezer been on holiday for a whole year and 1 month? He must have so much money to go on holiday for a year, flying around. I guess you'd know.
What's this? I'm coming in halfway through a conversation here, Alex. Knowing you is probably complete nonsense. What are you talking about?
Hey, you thought wides were still maidens earlier.
Yes, I think I might have had some brain fog there. Put it down to jet lag.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, go on. 131 for 4, 29 overs gone. They're rattling through these overs, but New Zealand's run rate is rather in reverse. It was at a very healthy 7. Earlier on, before they lost their wickets, but it's gone down to about 4.5 now. It's all a question, of course, of what a good total is on this pitch, and that's often a bit hard to predict. I know a man who's been out there having a look, though. Aaron Finch has had a good
afternoon, Eggers.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. Nice close look at it. We'll get your thoughts in a second. But 131 for 4, and we've got Mitchell on strike on 29. He's trying to lead the fight back here. 54 balls he's faced. And Jadeja waves his left arm, moves and really darts that one in quite quickly, and he's on the back foot playing out to cover. And it's fielded by Kohli. Crowd excitable as they always are. They don't really need any revving up, but the PA announcer, there's a man and a woman. She's particularly trying to fire them up, I think. There's a single to Mitchell. Actually, that's Phillips, isn't it? Picks up one down there to long on. So one more to New Zealand. They're battling away here. Suppose you sort of start at maybe 280 in your mind, and then you kind of go up or down from that, adjusting depending on what the surface is like. Phillips on 16 waits, turns that away out towards mid-wicket, running the first one quickly now. Ball rolls out just beyond the edge of the circle. They can't get the second as the throw comes in on the bounce. What do you reckon? You had a look. What's a good score?
Well, originally, I did 2 pitch reports today, actually. One pre-recorded that goes out to the world, and then one live during the pre-show.
Which one's the more nerve-wracking? The live one?
The pre-record.
Oh, the pre-record?
The pre-record.
There's so many people. Jadeja pushed away for a single. No, they don't take it to point that.
And originally, that it is bone dry. There is not a blade of grass on the wicket, but it's hard. And I spoke to the curator, and he seemed to think it'd be somewhere around 300.
Oh, really? Jadeja bowls, and that's a sweep shot. Just running away from the short, fine leg fielder. They come back for 2. That's swept up in the deep.
It can often be hard to judge what a wicket will do in conditions like this, but especially if you've played at somewhere like Sharjah, where the wicket holds together a little bit more than it does in Dubai. So as soon as the spikes start getting in the surface and turning up that top layer, doesn't matter what's underneath it, you'll get some grip, and we've seen that right throughout from the Indian spinners. As soon as Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav come into the attack, they were able to get some turns straight away and really trouble the New Zealand batters.
135 for 4, and this one's punched back from a full length to Jadeja, who fields it. 135 for 4 at the end of that over. So 20 to go. Well, as we know, we talk about doubling it. They'll get the 270.
They'd snap your hand off if you offered them that at the moment.
They would. They'd grab 270, wouldn't they? But ground staff and groundsmen always always big things a bit, don't they? I mean, they say, "Oh, mate, yes, 320 on here," when actually knows full well that 270 is a good score.
Yeah, well, he did say that 300 would be a very good score.
Oh, okay.
Should they be able to get there. And I mean, when you have a look at the overall square here at the Dubai Stadium, there's not much grass going on there. They've had so much cricket over the last couple of months. He said there's just been no opportunity for the grass to regrow. So I can completely sympathise with him.
Yeah. Well, there's not a blade of grass on that pitch they're playing on now, is there? Absolutely nothing.
And when India's got 4 spinners in their side, if there was one, he would have been asked to cut it off too, I think.
True. Even a single one. Here's Axar bowling, starting a new over. It's played off the back foot, just wide of cover, but nice piece of fielding there by Virat Kohli, hence the big cheer you'll have heard from about 20,000 spectators out there.
There's a few more empty seats than I thought there would be.
Yes, there are a few. That bottom end.
To be fair, that is looking straight into the sun.
Yes, on a warm day down the leg side. It's going to be a wide.
We could rattle through some overs here. Sorry, we could rattle through some overs here with Jadeja at one end and Axar Patel at the other.
Yeah, they're well ahead of the time. I think about 10 minutes up. I saw on the clock up there. 136 for 4. The run rate 4.5. As the next one from Axar again pushed off the back foot. There's that big cheer because Kohli's picked the ball.